is it also a kind of attractive thing to men for women to be like that?
Yeah.
Like for us to
Yes.
be, oh my God, can you believe? I mean,
Oh,
that
it's
girl,
nagging.
can you believe?
Okay.
The other side.
It's essential. It's a requirement.
Hey,
Hey, how to
Because-
talk? Eh?
you have to talk.
You talk. I will listen.
Hey,
I will respond what I have to.
I thought
At the time of creation, everything serves a purpose. And we've evolved over billions of years, and certain things have remained the way we are. Say,
You know, God is a brilliant architect. He designed this world with a lot of compatibility.
Welcome to Inspire, Transform and Thrive. Yeah, this is your everyday channel. For those of you who follow us and love us, we love you too. And just like you can see, today is an exciting
special.
one as we have special guests.
Yeah. Gentlemen here to give us their view of things, and it's definitely going to be very exciting. I mean, we're going to be ready for a very powerful conversation.
Yeah, and today's topic is one that you have always asked about. People are very inquisitive. They want to know, why are men complicated? Why are you guys complicated? Is it the men who are complicated? Is it the women who have different expectations? We're going to find out, So we're going to be breaking down. They'll be explaining to us why they are complicated. Or maybe if we should just understand them, Yes, and the male perspective, the female perspective. And yeah, I've brought for you expert men. They have been men since they were born. In this generation, people can be men for 10 years and then they become women and then for 5 years. So these ones, for them, they are experts. They're talented in being men. And so I guess that you're going to get your answers.
Yeah. So let's get into it. So you can first introduce yourself and then you answer the question.
Well, thank you so much. My name is Peter Vengano. I have expertise in being a man. Sure, as naturally born a man and raised as a man. So, to answer your question of why are men supposed to be complicated?
Yeah.
So the answer is no. Men are not complicated. Yeah. It's just a way of
You're going to give us evidence, otherwise I don't believe you.
men are really not complicated. It's a matter of getting to understand men's desires, men's natural desires. Yeah, how they are built to desire some things in life. So once that is understood, then the other question of how would I help him might get obtain those desires anyway. So it's around that aspect. So in a short answer, men are not complicated.
Okay. On my left hand side, I have a gentleman as well, and you can introduce yourself. She mentioned something about communication as well in terms of men being complicated. We believe that for us women, as we learn things in school, we learn normal vocabulary. We learn that someone has to communicate, I am not fine, give me time, all those kind of communications. But men seem to ignore those things. Is it that they didn't study English very well? They don't know how to communicate? Like, there's something missing in the way you guys communicate, especially in relationships. So why is it that it's like that?
My name is Holywick. I'm going to speak on behalf of traditional men and men who go straight to the point. So I think it's not really a matter of men being complicated. It's just something built between men and women. The nature of men is different from the nature of women. The way a man reasons is different from the way a woman reasons. A man reasons logically, because if, say, Peter tells me, I have a problem at work, it's this. Now we sit down and say, you did this, you did that, then it resulted to this. That's logic. But a woman, the way she will perceive something is going to be with emotions.
So do you want to say that for us we don't understand?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to bring the difference between the two sides.
We also don't understand that we can sit together and also solve something.
Yeah, in that perspective it does, but not in a relationship. Yeah.
Okay. No.
So for a woman, it's going to be with a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
You're going to be angry, you're going to be fearful, you're going to put all those things before really listening to what the other person is saying. And then there's also a category of ladies whom I can say will say, for example, you ask, "Oh, honey, how are you feeling?" She will say, "I'm okay," but the body language is not going to reflect exactly what she's saying.
That's true.
That is one
already
thing
she has
that
communicated. If you're saying the body language,
yeah, but you're going to put someone in a mix. You're saying something, your body language is saying something. Not everyone's going to put weight equally to both sides. Some will do, but some will not. So, in a nutshell, men are not complicated. Men are the easiest. If you go to a bachelor man's house, you'll just know that is a bedroom, this is a living room. Plain. Let's say I've met Peter for the first time. We're going to communicate with them without knowing each other's names, and we fly. But it's a bit different for ladies. Yeah. So generally it's just nature, and for men and women to coexist, you just have to understand that this is how a woman is, this is how a man is, both sides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So if you look at his example, I think I've understood his example. His example of your friend comes and tells you something that has happened at work. Usually, I think for us women, we shall look at that boss is bad. Oh my
Exactly,
God,
that is
how can
emotion.
he treat you like that?
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah.
Honestly, no, this is not the way things should be. Anyway, you know what? I think let's pray about it and, find a way out. And I think in the men's way of reasoning, they would tell you, how about maybe you handle this like this?
Yeah.
Probably, maybe if you talk to him man to man and then maybe find out what could be the issue or something. I feel like their whole world is more of like less words, more action.
Yeah.
You know? And for women, blah 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 blah. Then the whole thing is
Okay,
I
now
was
what are we
saying
going to do?
Yeah.
I am not happy. The other way it was I'm not happy.
Yeah.
But blah 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 blah. Then I think. Then you see my mother, you see my father.
Yes.
Honestly, this relationship is not working.
That's true.
Why complicated? In other words, we're the ones who are complicated.
Even the men on their side, they say we are complicated, right? The way the example he gave was like, we say we are okay, yet we are not okay. It's being complicated, you know.
Yeah.
So what's bringing that is the failure to coexist.
It's failure to coexist,
Yes.
I think. Because there's a guy also asked, why are you guys complicated? And he was telling me that men are complicated because people are complicated. That means it goes both ways.
Yeah.
So he's like, it's because your interest is more in the women. That's why you see the men as complicated. But if you also give them time, then they'll not be.
Because if I'm to borrow his point of view, when he says I can meet Holy Week, like just right here, and we start catching up and we talk. We don't even know each other's names, but we start talking and we talk deep. We even move from here to Jinja. What? That shows you how easy men are.
Yeah.
The simplicity of things.
In your perspective,
In my perspective,
as a man.
yes, it's that simple. You don't
But
have.
another side would be like, why don't you just tell me your name?
But wait, for you now, you have to first even protect yourselves
You have to
from.
put a guard.
Before you let yourself out, you have to protect yourself from who am I talking to? Where are they from? What are they like? So all that assessment, it's done. Now for us, we just do it all the way, along the way.
It's not even a big
Like
deal.
you see how someone drives and you're like, this guy seems like he's a very careful guy. But anyway, let's go and eat.
Imagine, there's. I wanted to add on her point. the part of emotions, I wanted you who is watching us to understand exactly what do we mean by emotions, because I personally used to also think that emotions are just being soft, like you're too soft that you're easily broken. But for me, after getting to know how exactly we function, I realize it's just that we connect much more, or we express more our emotions. Our emotions are like the biggest percentage.
They're louder than.
Yes, they are. We connect more with them.
Yeah.
That means you guys also connect, but maybe to a smaller percentage.
That's correct.
And then we also express them, and that is why in that same example of work, there's a problem at work. Like she said, you will be like, but why did he have to do that to you? Doesn't he know that you're a human being? We have that nurturing spirit. We have that care, like please, it's about how you feel first before we even look at what you did.
What you did wrong.
Yes, before even you look at what you did. It's about, but how could he humiliate you like that in front of people? So it's true. Like he also mentioned that we are inbuilt differently. We are wired differently. So for us, we lean more on emotions, and then the men. Now that's why also men don't understand us. They'll be like,
"No, why
everything Chizora is putting emotions."
Actually, to me, women, we understand you, but the question we ask ourselves is that why is she fronting emotions first? We have a problem here.
But that's how we
you
are.
Get? Now, yes. Since for us we are naturally built to first front logic, we normally feed on logic.
It's inconveniencing.
It's quicker for us to use logic than emotions. So what comes to our mind when you come and say, men don't understand us. So the question is like, why are you fronting emotions first? So that's the natural tendency that men get to exhibit when you come with a problem and I want to resolve. Like, okay, yes, I know they have hurt you, but okay, now you first write this email or first send this. We shall figure out how you feel later on. I'm not saying that I'm not feeling about.
Now you are making me feel bad. It's scary.
Yes.
Like, how can I start writing the email now?
When I'm still
considering how I feel.
So to me, it's about understanding what the other feeds on most. So if I feed on logic,
for me, according to the example you've given, that one, it's like you did the right thing. You acknowledge. You said, I know you're feeling not well, but let's write the email first. It means for me, I'll be okay on that side because you have acknowledged that I'm actually not feeling well. So you are reminding me that, man, let's get to work.
Sometimes I don't tell you that. I know I understand your.
So it's just for
it's implied within. To me, it's implied. Like
in his mind, it is. No,
I'm implied.
Okay.
So I won't tell you. We shall handle the emotions later. But in my mind, I will be like, let me just tell her. Send the bloody email.
Okay.
But
it.
I think that's why the silent treatment comes.
I think this whole thing comes back to emotional intelligence. Because your ability to perceive that this is a woman, she's going to put emotions first, or this is a man, he's going to put emotions behind. He's like top tier in understanding all this. Because
my kind of thing.
First hug.
Because
Jesus.
He will know what to do because he's emotional.
There was a reasoning someone put to me some time back, and they said, do you know why when a building is on fire, then they say evacuate women and children first?
No, I've never thought about that.
Because it's allegedly said that women first go, then they leave the men behind to reason. What do we do? Because when a woman is there, she will be, hey, my
just
child.
Scream.
Just be screaming.
I need to even move.
Exactly.
Scream.
Yeah.
That's true.
So there will be less of problem solving.
Exactly.
Analyzing the situation.
What are we going to do? Crisis, really. So for a woman, she needs to put emotions, take time. That's why when you have a fight with say like a girlfriend, she's going to take time to first deal with the emotions before you guys come and sort the real issue of what really happened. But let's say you have like say a guy friend, the way he's going to communicate to you is going to be different from the way your boyfriend or your husband is going to communicate to you. Because there's no emotions. The emotions is going to be my friend, and beyond that there's really nothing.
Sometimes when we go back, like after talking to you know why people keep on going back in relationships?
Yes.
Now the thing is, I go with my emotions. I'm very sad. Oh my God, Joanne, can you believe? Oh my God, Mercy. Oh my God. I cry, do my stuff, then I come back, I talk to you.
Yeah.
Then you logical.
Then I
start feeling like
you're not remorseful.
But it was even mine.
That is why even the female have to also be emotionally intelligent.
Exactly. It goes both ways.
It's like you have to be
equally
in both bodies.
Yeah.
It's like you have to acknowledge the male think like this, the female think like this. So you have to be two in one.
Yeah.
So I think in a relationship, that couple you see that is happy most of the time. You know, they're living their policies, procedures, their plans and everything happily. So that both parties have a sense of consideration, some level of emotional intelligence. To the other.
Yeah. It's like when something happens. Like when something happens, you put yourself in the other person's shoes, and the person puts him or herself in your shoes.
So that you see that there's no reason for arguing.
Yeah, that's why when something happens, a man will sit logically and reason out. But a woman take time, deal with the emotions, come back, see what this gentleman is saying in view of what just happened, and at times you come to realize, oh, that wasn't that much of a big deal.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
But now we have a question actually, which was actually the next question, and it's even to just continue on this one. If you know that sometimes you are relating with women who are not emotionally intelligent like you are, then what is the problem with you communicating with me and telling me that first give me some minutes, I'm processing something? Because the woman on their side, when you just keep quiet and don't say anything, they are going to think you're ignoring them, you know? So that is why we're saying that probably there is a problem with communication. Is it that you don't speak our language still? Is it that what's wrong with easy communication? Tell me that I am still processing something. Give me 5 minutes or give me a whole day. I will listen and I will give you that whole day. But when you just keep quiet and then later on you tell me, I was still thinking through it, it will not make sense to me. I'll start thinking you're thinking about other girls or what. You know how.
You see, I think what people ought to do on first dates is not what is your favorite drink, what's your favorite meal. You ask, what is your childhood trauma? How do you deal when there's crisis? What happens when we are fighting? What do you need when you're upset? Those are the things that we should be talking about on first dates, not those
How
other.
about you learning them over time? Because
you can learn them over time, but what if you fight before you learn them? Because I would appreciate if someone tells me those things on the first date.
You learn on the job, I think.
Yeah, there's also learning on job, but there's putting things up front. Because a lot of fights in relationship happen because of uncommunicated expectations. Because you don't know that is her way of taking time off to cool off. Well, because to her, she's just okay. You might come to her and she's screaming at you and all that. In other words, she might be saying, "Give me time," but she hasn't said it like, "Give me time." She might be acting out. Yeah.
Well, I want to slightly, but yeah, on the
slightly differ.
Slightly differ.
Okay, he said he's a traditional man, so I'm sure there will be some differences.
So the thing is, there is that need to learn each other. But to me, I wouldn't want to sit you down there. We are dining. I'm like, what do you like? What don't you like? I mean, there will be that natural when you are relating together very well. I will get to learn that, I've really yelled at her. She doesn't like it. You get? So it is a gradual process. Otherwise, if I sit down and ask you, it's like I'm going to write a script on how to deal with you. But in actual sense, I should ideally learn. Today, I will learn how not to yell at you. But tomorrow, I will learn how to laugh wild with you. And the other day, I will learn another thing. So that's how that bondage keeps on growing. And there's some culture that comes in when you master at least 60% thereabout. So if I have mastered about 60%, then I can deal with you. That's when I can look at you when you're just coming, and I know,
she's going to.
Mercy, I am done.
Today.
So to me, I wouldn't want to sit you down and you tell me. But you know, when you're speaking as partners, there are those stories that I reveal. That someone tells you a story, but from that story, for them they may not see, but through your logical emblem, you can see that, okay, they have some bit of trauma here. So when I talk about
it's true.
Loud things.
So, you know,
something like that.
Somebody talked about it some time back, and we were saying some people don't even recognize that they have trauma.
Yeah.
So it's true, you can ask them the question and they'll be like, me? Trauma? I don't know anything about it.
They get defensive.
But when you find out in their character, because for you, intelligent, then you realize that maybe this person is actually trauma.
And sometimes people think because they grew up in wealthy homes, they don't have any traumas.
They think traumas come from poverty.
From poor.
My God.
Someone may also front the need to have the relationship. So if I sit you down to talk about your previous history and all that, your body count, your everything, so you might want to focus more on wanting this relationship and tell me sanitize the stories. So you might sanitize your story and tell me, and I'm like, oh, okay, now. So whenever there will be this thing, I will react like this. So there is that absence of natural exhibition of your behavior and your comprehension.
So I recently saw a poster, and the gentleman was someone asked, "What is that casual thing that a girl did, and you felt like, I think I'm not going to marry her?" Then a gentleman answered. He said, "You know what? She called my mother. She keeps on calling my mother without my knowledge, and then she bought my father a watch on his birthday. God knows how she even got to know the birthday. So I felt like she's moving too fast for me. Therefore, I was like, let her move faster and find someone else."
But he did communicate. He communicated.
No, and someone asked, "So how is it going now?" It's like, she doesn't know yet, but I've already made up in my head. I've already made up my mind that I'm not going to marry her.
Communication.
That's communication.
And for me, I was like, how can your good manners cause you problems?
It happens more often than not, actually.
So we have all different tolerance levels to things. To you, you might see it as a good deed, but to me, I'm seeing it as overstepping. Who do you think you are? Who even married?
I mean, I don't buy my dad a birthday gift, and for you,
you're complicating my life.
Are you trying to replace me as a child? You want to be my dad's firstborn?
Yeah.
So to you, it's a good deed, and actually, it's out of your good personality.
And those things might not really be like someone overstepping what they usually do. It might be something just normally do.
But because you come up as overstepping.
Because they didn't take time. Because you didn't take time to learn the other person.
So now, if you buy my mama cake,
I've never bought.
Before you buy my dad a watch, I first tell you. Okay, before you even buy my mama cake, you are calling her. So you're calling her, and I feel like there's some.
I'm going behind your back or something like that.
Something like that.
What are you building?
So I'm like, what's up? You're calling my mom without my knowledge. At least you let me know. Next time, let me know.
So you need to. No, if you're the man, you find out. On my woman's side, I would be like, tell me that you're not comfortable with me calling her, and then I'll stop calling her.
Actually, I'm comfortable.
But you keeping quiet and waiting for the extreme.
But you see, let me go back to the other point where I said people should go on first date and ask about these things. You see, now in that case, that guy found out when she had already done it, and he had made his mind that we're done.
He made up his mind.
So what if they had this conversation before that happening?
So the thing is this: the man's decision to say I'm not going to marry this chick, it's because she had repeatedly done it. Where I find him faulty is not him talking about it the second time of the phone call. You get? Before it graduates to the level of cake, watches, gifts, and trips to Maldives and what? Yes. Take the parent to Thailand and you know.
Yeah, but you see some things, it just don't need to happen twice. Yeah, some things don't need to happen twice.
Like you also mentioned about tolerance. Maybe for you that's your... You know, everyone has their thing.
Everyone has a deal breaker.
That second,
everyone has a deal breaker. You don't need to do it the second time.
Yes, for him that was his trigger moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, that's the tolerance level. Like to me, I think it comes from how you grew up. Yeah. So earlier on in your childhood, when you were being punished, we were punished on about what thing, and how you know. How repeatedly would you do that problem? Would you do that inconvenience that they punish you? Such things. Some parents, they would actually punish you at the first attempt. They punish you after like the third time. Man, you're becoming a problem. You lie down. Yes. So that builds over time. It builds a tolerance level. How much can you accommodate before you erupt?
Actually, for me, when I read that post, I was like, I felt like the man was not being he felt like he wasn't leading her. She was leading. And for example, you're moving, the man is actually the one holding your hand and is moving quite forward, you know. In this case, for me, I felt like the man felt like, I'm here, you're there. What is not happening?
You're moving very fast
I'm
in
supposed
the
to
wrong direction. But that's what always happens when women lead. When you men let women lead.
I remember what happened.
We all know exactly. We all know what will happen.
Did you into a ditch and I tell you,
you are a man. Exactly. On my side, I will also say,
you're a man. You're supposed to
refuse to take charge. There's that thing that we even once talked about. I don't know if it was here or just personal. We were saying that the women also have leadership. I don't know if it's instincts or what. Some inbuilt leadership, to an extent that it takes charge when the man is not doing his leadership role. If I see you not leading, I'll not even ask you. I'll just lead. We're inbuilt with that thing. So maybe you can find she was leading because the man was slow.
So that would vary. Some ladies actually hold back. They're like, Mom, just looks like, because I'm trained from childhood, the man leads. So I'm especially about traditional families and all that. But to me, naturally, men are supposed to take the lead, hold the lady by the hand, and we move. Because there is a unique gift ladies have about assessing, especially the risks. You get? For a lady, I'm now speaking general terms. For a lady to make a decision,
you've come on our side.
You
have to make sure that you inform us.
For a lady to make a decision, they first touch base this. Once everything is in place, that's when they think of to make
the next move.
Now that element may not be like in men, and also it may not be a crucial factor in leadership, because when you're a leader, you have to be fast because you are paving the way for someone who is coming, who is behind you. So you have to be a little bit fast-paced. So as the lady assesses the risks, okay, that road, there is a ditch there, there is a hole there, move fast. For you already on the move. I think that's to me, that's how there's that natural uniqueness, and men actually have it. Women assess very well.
However much they can assess, they need to take a step a little bit, behind him, so it can be
gives you time to assess.
Yeah, he's moving forward, but how far are you from him? It means you're either around the corner speaking, but like the vice president, but you are moving forward, but the speed is just the speed.
I want to relate with how it was in school. Now imagine a student who knows too much, like he reads ahead of the teacher, and now the teacher has come to teach, and then now you, instead of keeping calm and saying you know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you've now become the teacher.
Exactly.
So it's true that we kind of mistake that role, and now the student would want to just overthrow the teacher and come and teach. Like, the teacher doesn't even know this topic. Me, I already know like 5 topics ahead.
Yeah, true.
You know? Yeah. So it's true.
So, our next concern as ladies, do men have selective hearing? Because personally, if I was, for example, maybe every day you've been giving me money for like nails, like 15,000, and then all of a sudden I'm telling you, how I'll come and communicate it is going to be kind of different. But all I want is actually an increase on that amount. I'll come like this. You see, at the other guy's place, it's now like 100,000, and the other person's place, you see, Joanne made hers, and they were like for 40k. Can you believe? Like, oh my god, it's really expensive. So I can't believe that prices are going that high. Anyway, I don't know, but I think the next time you give me, I think you should increase the money. I think I want like 100,000 for the money that I need. Like, it's really normal. Like, okay, now you should know that the prices. I think men hearing blah 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 blah.
See Peter, he was impatient.
Blah blah blah.
Listening to that. It was very disturbing.
And then in his head, so all you want, how much more do you want? Normally the next question would be, so how much do you want for nails? Okay, all right, she'll let you.
She'll not tell you. She'll even say, but it's not like I didn't tell you that the things.
Okay, it's not that I am very expensive.
It's not that I'm just asking you for extra money but I've told you that, and she'll still not make my point.
So
yeah. Men have selective hearing.
Cause sure.
So okay, we're still actually on communication style.
Yeah. I would say it really depends on what the case at hand is.
Nails.
Because if it's nails, that example, I would say You just because
you'd say men have selective hearing.
I would say yes.
Okay.
Because you would put your ear to actually find out what the problem is. What is the problem? What is the solution? It goes back to logical analysis. What is the problem and what is the solution? Yeah. So that's basically it.
So it means you look through my script like this, the 1,000 words.
What is the problem?
And you look for the problem and then give me the solution at the end.
Answer.
And then at the end I'll be like, but you don't get it.
But you have the money on your phone.
No, I somehow be expecting the same one.
No, the money. But then we make it feel like the problem is not even the money.
It's
like you have to accept what I have and what I am explaining to you. It's like you have to know that prices have increased. That's the point at hand. Right now, it's not the money. It will come later. I want it. But the point is, can you understand that prices have increased?
But now,
we'll speak about it together.
In a lady's perspective, from what she has just said, a lady would expect me to sit there and go through. Oh, so you went to the other place? Sorry, that was a long walk.
Yes.
You went to the other one also?
Some kilo of what?
That is too much.
Yeah.
Then, so, okay, next time we'll just...
know that you've had.
Yes.
So,
but we don't have...
that patience.
Yeah, not the patience, but is it necessary?
Oh my god!
So, you know why we still come back with the same issue?
Is it too much?
After you telling me I will pay, in my head I'll go.
You
get
there.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Until you're able to give me at least a quarter of the same words I gave, then I'll be now.
Yeah,
I think that was something.
No, to me, when I was meant for like gents into like naturally men are built in the first minute from 30 seconds to 1 minute. I should know what the general
what is the problem? Yeah.
But
like no, this is a natural.
Come at the end.
Yes. But the point is going to come at the end. So I'll be like, hey, I'll be like scrolling my phone. Okay. Alright. So when I from your script, from your statement, when I hear something like prices increased, it's about money. Then it's like, I went to the other guy and he was close. Like, okay, she even tried. You get it? So that means I'm questioning the effort. Like, okay, but kachoka kati nkoze ntya. like, oh, she needs money. So in the next second, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to wire you some money for the palace. And
Where you feel
Done.
like
Yeah, we'll come
so
to
the other
Just
processing
like-
has happened in the head where you are talking.
So all the words you would have given me.
Yes.
You've given me the final solution.
Because what I wanted in the first 30 seconds, 1 minute, it has come on the 6th minute of the call.
My God.
You get on the 12th response in the chat. You get. So to me, it's about the natural make.
So that
First
is
tell me the
true.
point. First tell me the point. Like, man, nail prices have gone high. Yeah.
So we should come with essays.
Then
With the
you
headline and
break down and say,
subheadline.
can you imagine even going to the other guy? I went to Salongo and Salongo was and it was closed. The other guy does now to polish. As I had to change. I'm going to Nakasero. I want to get it.
So
I
ultimately,
can hear those stories, but knowing, I want to first know the
problem.
actual problem. Yeah.
So
now,
I wanted to add in something that Holly said. When you mentioned that us women, we want you to analyze word per word, we're asking, is that too much to ask for? Because like you said, you even mentioned and said, oh, so you went to Salongo. That was such a distance, you know. You mentioned that you even have the ability to analyze. So we're asking, why not analyze?
out loud.
Is it too much to ask for?
It's
Is it disturbing in any
no,
way as
it's,
a man?
I don't really think it's disturbing, but I just think for the most part we don't really think it's necessary.
Ah,
Yeah.
very true.
Like for the analysis, I analyze.
Because a traditional man is built to handle those kind of things as quickly as possible. Let's get this over with and go to the next. Is this it or there's another
Not
one?
just traditional men, even
get-
modern men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this it or there's another thing other than this? Yeah. Like me, I would want that to get out of the way so that we have a good time or we go
What's on my
do
bucket
something
list?
else.
I need to handle.
Or we talk about something else.
And now, is it something that you find is okay? It's okay. Like, is it also a kind of attractive thing to men for women to be like that?
Yeah.
Like for us to
Yes.
be, oh my God, can you believe? I mean,
Oh,
that
it's
girl.
nagging.
Can you believe?
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Other side.
It's essential. It's a requirement.
Hey,
Hey, how to talk?
Because-
Eh?
you have to talk.
You talk. I will listen.
Hey,
I will respond
for
what I
real.
have to.
I actually thought you want us to be straight to the point.
When
Like
get
you want me
what
to
you call-
just come
No.
and I be like you
No.
and I relate with you and
No.
just be like, hey, I need more money for nail.
Oh, that
Then
will
it
be very
then it
will
will
sound
be you. Then it will be you to ask me what's
traditional
happening.
man.
Yeah, it will come off as rude.
It will be rude.
Yeah.
So this gives me an answer.
So the
we
nagging-
complement each other.
Yes. So
Yeah.
when you beep that brief, like I need money for her, so that means you are wearing that logical masculinity. You know.
You know, I'm not giving your brain good time to
Yes.
process. I'm just telling it
I
like
need
that.
also. I need.
I'm
Talking to a fellow
underutilizing.
gentleman.
Yes.
That's
when
why.
you are there.
That's why when I was saying, when you begin talking, we scan for the problem. Between the time we scan for the problem and the solution,
You need to put your scanners to use.
Yeah.
Hey,
Copy, sir.
okay.
because if
Actually, it's a
you
turn-off,
just come off and say I need money for her, it comes off as being rude
Hey.
and inconsiderate.
Have you heard? It's
So
a
you still
kind
want
of-
us to
we
come
are
and
built
be
to
how
solve
we
problems. We are built to solve problems. We bring up the problem
So you want us
and
to
have a
waste your
solution.
time, in other words.
No, they're okay with it.
You're okay with
Yeah.
us wasting your
Yeah.
time?
Let me refurbish that statement.
Some guys sit up. It's that men. They say.
Okay. It's a turn off when you want to be like the guy.
Oh, when you want to be that guy.
Because naturally, the guy is supposed to say, to make it short and snap.
Precisely.
Yeah. But when you say, I need money for you, that's why you said it's rude. It comes off as rude. The reason being, okay, now you are being radical. You have even assumed very many things.
I think I have the man.
Kabisa.
Yeah,
You
comes
get.
in environment.
So all those things will come in the man's mind. Like, man, this chick is really, not it. Because you want for us to communicate effectively, doesn't mean you wear a masculine hat and we have to move with each other's
counterbalancing.
Yes.
Everyone.
But we are intercommunicating. So that's why even when a man tends to behave like the lady, might turn you off to a certain extent. But maybe, hey, hi, did you take saliva? Did you? It's a turn off. You get. So that's why we need to move
The way we are. Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. Yes. Say your very many words. I'll do my scanning. I will precisely respond, resolve the problem, move to the next step progressively. I think, to me, that's how nature is distributed. Yeah.
That's nice. So, I want to ask at this point, we have seen that, true, we need to be all our authentic selves, and we live harmony. But also, we need to be considerate of each other.
Yeah, that's correct.
But how better can communication be? And I want to buy into what Holy Week was saying. How about we communicate it faster? The kind of person that you are, or the kind of person that you expect from a person, or the things that make so much sense to you earlier than wasting time learning someone, because learning never ends, right?
Of course not.
Learning never ends. So what if I waste my 15 years me learning you, yet I would have known a little bit more on the first date? So how best can we bridge the communication such that we also don't waste each other's time and have many relationships breaking up? Because imagine me learning you after 15 years and I'm very sure that this is actually not what I wanted now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, to me, there are some things that are built, that are meant, sit on the other end of the table, I sit on this end, we talk. Those things are there. Starting from what's your best color, what's your favorite car, what gadget, and all that. What's your dream, destination, things like that. But then there are some things that are better off observed over time. We let love grow. You get. It's not like I'm going to first do a test that I have to read and go and then write an exam and you get. Yes, there are those things that I need to know. Let love take its own natural course. There are some little things that I need to know actually at first that should move me to the next 5 years when I'm learning the big things.
Yeah.
That's how I understand it. And I think to a certain extent, I think the men out there will get agreeing with
because
me.
they have not yet understood the point now.
Because things like, what's your favorite color? Do you like flowers? Do you like these things? Those can be learned just on a dinner date.
Yeah, that one is true.
But there are these things of trauma, things of what makes you extremely excited. What do you do when
I agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. I believe it has to be both. On the date, ask to show that for me these are more of my interest, and again observe.
So that is okay. We are speaking the same thing. We are doing a hybrid. We are doing a hybrid, both instant and long-term observation.
Yeah. So I would still prefer that I get to ask, do a Q&A, and I understand what is really going on with you. In fact, the reason that's why I would ask is, are you self-aware?
Points.
You get? Are you self-aware that you have a trauma? Are you self-aware that these are not the things you like? What is that you can't stand? Are you self-aware? That's why what they say will say all that. You get? Because you can't deal with the problem if you don't know what it is.
You don't wait for it
you
to
don't
happen.
know you have a trauma or So that's one. Two, I would ask that to just have a record so that in the future, what is he doing and what does he say?
In comparison.
Because I've seen people go through hell because they are told something and the other person does another. You get? Because you see them doing something, I'll call you. Okay, let's say I'll call you in the night. You take call. You say like, oh yeah, my love language is gifting, but is she gifting?
What has ended? You are not
Exactly,
gifting. You get. So that's why I would say that, and then also in the process you get to know what is the feeling, what is happening.
Reality check.
Yeah. That's it. That's why it's called reality check.
Yeah.
So I think okay, there's some men out there
Not too much grace.
that are used to just move as we are
And see what happens.
No. Let us
okay.
move. I know these basics, the fundamentals. I know them. I know your love language. I know yeah. But there's that character that's exhibited in due course. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
And if we discussed about it and it happens,
can take a while.
it will take you off.
But still, Peter, it can take you a while to reach that point. That's why I prefer the other version, the traditional version, whereby me personally, I am emotionally intelligent, and I am able to recognize that he talked about self-awareness. At this moment, I expect an emotionally intelligent person is looking for someone who is already on the other level. I'm not going to take you to school starting from baby class. I want to know if you actually qualified for university.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be with you, but now let's go to baby class. Now let's go to secondary. No, it's you. You're so tolerant. You have too much grace. Yeah. As compared to the other person who already knows what he wants, so he doesn't want to waste your time or even his time going through baby class, secondary, let's move that journey until you become qualified for university. Yet for him, he wants a university student.
Okay, now that varies. I'm understanding.
Yes, I think that's different also.
Because to me, I have that. Okay, as other men, I'm now presenting the fraction of the men. They say there is that level of consideration. But the way I'm a human being, the way I don't know where I'm going, the way things change over time is the same way that can happen to you as my partner. Growth while changing. I learn, I get to discover as something, then we adjust, then we fine tune our way of life and all that. But on grounds that we started off from the basics.
Yes.
Yeah. What your love language? Do you love white roses? Do you have those things? So once we start from the basics, we keep on graduating, we keep on adjusting, learning from each other. If my partner is the person who delays in the shower, they delay to prepare themselves, and it doesn't sit well with me. So then at that point we fine tune it. You get. So other than starting from the point go, like I don't want slow people, I don't want this, and I want this, okay? So to me, it may not come off as we start off from the core principles, but we start off from the basics to grow together. Yeah, that's my take on it. Yeah.
So when it comes to stuff like that, I think that there's a friend of mine recently went for a date, and she said that after she left the date, she felt like this man is so serious, he's going to marry her. I mean, he's so serious with the way he speaks, and he's so elaborate, in other words. So she says, I'm like, okay, which questions did the gentleman ask? She's like, well, he asked me my name, where do I work, what are my future goals, which schools did I go to? Like, it's as if he was wanting to write a book, something of that sort. So she felt like, oh my God, he's so serious. He gets to the point. I mean, I like it that he's so, but I felt like along the way, she failed to communicate the easier things. She failed to communicate because she felt like, hey man, can I even tell him he's sick? Maybe he will say, go to the hospital. What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
You can play with your life. You play with your life like that.
You mean more from me
That's why she felt like, later on I felt like I can't open up to him because I didn't feel like I'm welcomed in that way. You get. So when you talk about intentional dating, it's okay, you can be intentional, but then don't put off people in a way, because you're getting to know someone. At the end of the day, I'm seeing you as a stranger. I've just met. You know, it is going to take me time for me to tell you some other things about me.
Yeah.
You know,
and the mere fact that I have started off with less seriousness doesn't mean that I'm not intentional.
No, I mean that you're not serious anyway.
No, I mean that I didn't leave my home.
Yes.
Having it in mind that I'm going to meet someone, that we are going to know each other. You know?
I want to add on.
Life is already
It's already hard.
It's already hard. Well, let me defend the serious man. That serious man, or let me say the intentional kind of dating where you prefer starting off as serious or mentioning what matters to you, or what we could call your core, to see if you move forward or not, doesn't mean that on that first date you only display that seriousness. On that date, I prefer that when you do something serious, or when you ask me something serious and there's a lot of tension, then, you know, you can flip the coin still, and I get to know your other playful side. You know, you don't have to be, unless maybe when you're going to stand for president or something like that. In my life, I mean, you know, you are campaigning for a certain post and you have a certain intention that is too serious. But if it's a relationship, I believe that I prefer seeing both sides. But for me personally, I believe that you can still be both basic and core. You can still include on that first date both the core that means to you, throw it here and there, throw one point, even if it's going to make the other person tensionous or something. At least let them know that this is not the ordinary dates that I usually go to. So let it pull them up a little bit to know who you are, instead of you trying to walk someone, you know, baby what. For me, I prefer you don't baby me entirely. I want you to show me baby side and also serious side. Like let's
balance.
Show me the round of you, the other side and the other side, such that I can know that he's both serious and playful, and I'll not have any surprises either way.
So I think we are in the middle ground. Is you start more of the seriousness with some slight lows like.
No, you start with what works for you. If for you basic, not unserious works for you, then start with that, and then later bring it up.
That much as it may not mean that if you start with unseriousness, doesn't mean that you're not serious.
Yeah, that's true.
It's throwing some serious.
Actually, that's what we are. Have we said that?
Okay, so we are saying
no one is right and no one is correct. No one is wrong. We're just saying
what
that
works
we
for
prefer.
different people.
Actually, I prefer a serious one. I prefer serious
right
questions.
off the bat.
Actually, I have no problem with someone. I would actually prefer someone who is core as they want to be, very serious as they want to be, ask questions as much as they want, but the way you treat me, I want to be treated the other sides. The other sides, you know? When someone, maybe they bring a drink, maybe it's not real. Oh, please, let me. We are talking.
So active.
Oh, please,
That's all still,
you know?
that's all still done by communication.
Either way, you can be all core and all that, but at the end of the day, your actions need to speak a different language.
And
I don't want to feel like you're tense. You don't want, you know?
It still takes us back to being self-aware. It means you know what you want, and you communicate to him directly that, for me, I don't like being serious like that. I prefer you tell him. Like, why are you waiting for him to discover?
And sometimes
that
you might
answering?
even be complimenting one another without even knowing.
Exactly. So really,
But
I think
Communicate.
in all this, it all comes to a few things.
Yeah.
Number one, who the person you're with is as a person. Two, in line with that, what the person wants. If the person is, if I'm going for her because, you know, I just want to have a good time and all that, I'm not going to ask you
A lot.
serious questions. Yeah. I don't have really much to do with
I
it.
don't really have a deeper intention beyond, you know.
and I think
Then
when you go there,
someone coming and having conversation and wanting to know someone on the fly, it also doesn't mean that the person is not serious.
Yes.
Some people want to first discover someone, then go into the deep, serious stuff. Which is also, which is also,
who seems serious may also not be serious.
which is also fine. Exactly.
Be like,
Someone can. You know,
Sometimes.
we are men. You know what you want. You just go and ask.
Exactly.
You have a conversation based on what you want, and you're good. You create an illusion of.
I am very serious.
Yeah.
It is the
And
most
she rolls. Yeah. So.
That's why both work.
So me, I would really, what I would really say is, know yourself first.
Yes, that is very important.
Know yourself, then you can get to know the person you're with. And I strongly believe that communication is a skill. That's why I call it a skill, because it can be learned and unlearned. This can be you right now. This can be how you talk. But when you're in a relationship with someone, down the line you'll adopt their perspective or their way of being. You are the way you are because you have not been exposed to maybe the other side of how things are done. You learn the other way, and then you find that is also better than the one
I've just.
So these things change, because even if you come on a date and you ask them that serious stuff, the person asking may not necessarily have everything figured out, but
not in the direction.
Or it may not also be that they're trying to fake it and trying to portray some serious image and all that. But it all just comes down to you knowing yourself and knowing the other person. It also becomes unfriendly if you're in that serious zone and you don't give this person that room of being themselves. Because I believe the most comfortable place for a couple is that place where that person is allowed to be who they are.
Yes.
You are allowed to be who you are, and I am allowed to be who I am. Knowing in the back of my mind that that is what he can't stand, or this is what she can't stand. Regardless of whether you knew it right off the bat or not. That is one. Two, putting these things across also is a skill. Like I said, communication is a skill. I'm not going to just come and bombard you with all those, because even if I was in that shoe, I would also I wouldn't know. I can ask one thing today, or I can ask one thing this hour. We have a meal, we talk, we jazz. You talk about a trip you went to. Then you bring it through something. You can't just ask what is your favorite meal. You can I can be creative and
be sharp enough.
You can be sharp and you be creative enough to bring out a question in a way that the person won't be defensive or the person won't feel like this is an attack.
Yes, an attack. Speaking about trauma.
So I feel this whole communication in a relationship and getting to know each other is more like peeling an onion. You can't pick the inside leaf without removing the outside first. You have to know certain things. But this outer dry shell is there because it protects the inner one from getting dry.
Exactly.
So that means this outside are the things that you hold
Peter
core.
got the point already.
These are things that you hold
You
core
need
to
to
yourself, that protect you.
Exactly.
Because this is what you can't stand. You put it across, and but at the moment you're going to peel this outer layer, going to the inner one, you already know. This is what was
someone peeling your innermost layer of your onion, and yet you realize that he's not the person you want.
Exactly.
Just because you are still playing everything around and what you see. There's also some demerits on your side, on that side, and there's also demerits on the other side. So really,
it's just who you're dating, who you are with, and how you intend to take the lead. Because for me, I see relationships on most part is where it is going is basically dependent on the man. Leadership.
Yes.
Because you come in to lead the woman, and the woman is there to follow you. Because if you say, because for us men, we bring the plan, you lay the plans on the table, you lay the ambitions, you put the ambitions on the table, you put all that. She sees in what you put on the table and analyzes whatever you're putting, and then gives an input based on what you've displayed on the table. She can also bring in something that is not on the table, but you as a couple can weigh in and see what fits in. Yeah, how the other side can come in and how this other side can also come in. Because so this is a two people thing, and there's really no one way fits all. Can be good for this couple and not good for the other one.
That's true. So all in all, in intentional dating, it's very important the other party or both parties have already discovered who they are.
Yeah.
Because that is so important. Because I feel like once we already know who we are, we don't waste each other's time.
Yeah.
By first date, I've been knowing there is no hope.
Yeah. Straight.
No.
You know,
Exactly,
but Peter will waste 5.
I will. No.
10 days.
The other fraction.
But also,
point. But anyway,
being intentional is good.
I don't present the other fraction.
Which one? Which one?
He's the chairman of the other fraction. The one that has
I'm the chairman of the other fraction that has
Yeah, but
I believe in growth.
You know.
But sometimes the growth may not be there because it's not
Then you
intended. You understand? Because you don't mind. It's not a thing to you.
Yeah.
That means you'll not mind
like the
if
high
she's
school
growing
dating.
or not. Yeah, exactly. It's like high school
Yeah.
dating.
I was going
You're
to
not
say,
minding
basic
if
is
she's
more
going
like-
on any other level or not.
It's
You're like, as long as she's a woman,
Yeah.
as long as I have a girlfriend, that's
Well,
all.
good.
That's all that matters.
But you slide in those things of directional.
Women,
Stuff.
But
women
Peter,
will always choose the baby side.
Yeah, Peter,
So if you are more of baby than serious, we shall ignore the serious and stay with the baby. That's true.
Yeah. There are certain things, how you set the pace right from the beginning is how the tone of the relationship is going to be set. If I meet her, let me speak on my behalf. This is going to trigger very many people.
Trigger alert.
Yeah. So, I'm a guy. I'm going to go for a lady that I like and she's pretty and all that. But she's going to tell me, my best friend is a guy. I'm not going to have a second date on that. Yeah, I'm not going to have a second
intentional.
date. You get? But now,
Looks like you
she
came
has
to
not
our
told
side.
you.
to our side.
This is an example of one particular item concerning me.
Yeah.
So this is something I've not known for like, say, she has not brought it up. I've not asked her, and it doesn't really come up. It has come up after like say 6 months or 8 months that her best friend is actually a guy.
So
You know how that?
yeah, but you see, in the first weeks when we are dating, if you're actually communicating, I would know who you communicate to most.
Exactly. My point in all this is communication,
Yeah,
not really having a checklist and against something.
So even on the grace side of the grace first men, we get to understand who your best friend is.
No, I'm just brought this whole example of best friend, just an example. It might be anything. Yeah, it might be anything that you may not really be comfortable with.
Yeah, I get your point. Of course, that's the demerit on the other fraction of the men. Yeah,
But generally, it varies for people, and I'm not really a stuck up person on one side. Say I have to ask. There are certain things for me I will hold core that I can't miss asking them on 1, 2, 3 dates.
Me too.
Oh, even our side, we have to ask much as
The colors.
No. Of course, not what type of roses or what.
No, much as I'm still on his side.
Yeah.
Much as it can be serious, it can go all that far and all that, you know. It's just that sometimes there are people who just want to be welcomed. They want to feel welcomed before they can open up.
Yeah, that's why I was saying an ideal relationship is one where someone is allowed to be themselves. If you're childish, be childish.
If you're tough, be tough.
If you're tough, be the
that
way you
doesn't
are.
mean that you're not welcome.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can be welcoming in
Because I
yourself
can
self.
get to really understand over
So
time that
that's who
that
you
is how you
You're
are.
such
That
a
is who you are.
soft person, graceful, and that's who you are.
Yeah.
So be you. Me, I will study you. We shall study ourselves.
Because
grow and we shall
there's
adjust.
this
fine-tune
thing
the
that people
pieces.
say in relationships, like I find it toxic. Like, take me as I am. That for me as a person, I find it the most toxic thing that someone can say.
That means the person is not up for growth.
They are not
Because
willing to change.
Let's give this example. Someone, let's say you go to your room and you yourself, you might even know that I'm not good at dressing, laying my bed when I wake up, and you're trying to work on it. But you meet this person and you're telling them to take you the way you are, when you yourself, there's something you're working on.
As I'm polishing, you take me as I'm
Exactly.
polishing.
Things change, people change, so you be open to change. Today you might like beans and rice, next time it might be peas and something.
You may even start off as the tough one and end up as the
and because the person
and the other one was softer.
Yeah.
You know, really, that's true. People change, and you all have to be able to adjust. So we go back to the point, which was men complicated and not understanding each other, and communication and all that. As we wrap up, I want us to ask ourselves this question: why do you think God wired men differently and wired women differently? Do you think it was for us to clash? Do you think that it was for us to always be, men are trash, women are trash, this is this, this is this, because we don't get ourselves? As we wrap up, let's give each of us our own reasons why you think God came up with such an idea. Is it of good? Is it of bad?
Okay. I think at the time of creation, everything serves a purpose. And we've evolved over billions of years, and certain things have remained the way we are. Say, the nature of a man and the nature of a woman, those have really not changed. Society has changed, things around us has changed, the way of life has changed, but our nature of who we are has never changed. The way a woman gives birth has never changed. The way you conceive has never changed. And the role of a man has never changed. Same with the woman. So I think it wasn't a mistake that women are emotional and men are not. Even in the Bible says we are to love a woman. Love is an emotion. But respect is not. Respect is really logic. So being the way it is, we just have to understand that that is a woman, this is how you get to her. This is a man, this is how you get to him. So we really just need to understand, be intelligent enough to know that I am with her. This is how she is when she's happy. This is how she is when she's, not in the mood. I can take one look at my girlfriend right now and I know something is, I can hear her voice and I know something is not right. Has something happened, something like that. But it doesn't really have to be perfect, or you don't have to be good at your game right off the bat. These are things you learn over time with experience. Because nothing comes, these are things that you learn with experience, not someone telling you. I can't tell some guy out there on how to treat his woman. I can't tell him when she's behaving like this, that means he's upset, or when she behaves like this, he's feeling agitated or something. We are all different. So you have to learn the person you're with. You have to learn how to treat them. And also you have to teach the other person how to treat you. You teach them. It's very, very important. You teach them how to treat you, and they also teach you how to treat them. It goes both ways. But if I always believe that most things in a relationship work out or don't work out right off the bat, you don't need, there are certain things, like I said, there are certain things that I know, I will know on the first date, that I will know this is going to work out or this is not going to work out. Unless you're going to pretend really. But you can know this is
you're forcing.
This is going to work out or this is not going to work out. Just off basic things. Yes, I know people change, but there are certain things.
Tolerance.
There are certain things that when you know about a person, you just know your values are, if your values are parallel to each other, or the other one facing this way, the other one this way, the other one begin, let's say the man believes in polygamy, and you're a woman, you can't stand the idea of having a co-wife.
That's a no.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But you just have to be develop the skill of communicating those needs that you have. You communicate your needs to the person you're with.
I remember there's a date I went to and I asked the guy about what's your take on polygamy and all that. And I knew that was the last time I'm seeing him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what if that came off when you're married?
If I didn't ask about it because it's not something that comes off of
Yeah.
We also thank God he wasn't a liar.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah, it could easily. Yeah. These things are complex. Like human behavior generally is complex. You can't say I've mastered her or I've mastered him. I've understood.
Even you can't say you've understood women given the fact that you've understood your girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the next one could be a different subject.
Because if you sample 3 people out of one, like there are 8 billion people in the world, like half say are women. And you've only dated like 3. You can't conclude and say, I know women are this. So, in our norms today, people say women fear women. Or
fear women.
There's this thing that is going around that makes it come off as if women don't need men don't need. But in essence, men need women and women need men. We are meant to coexist. We are meant to be together. You're meant to get married to a woman and stay with her. You understand her, she understands you. You just have to be patient enough to give them the platform to be who they are, so that, because also there are very many things that you are best known when the person reveals it to you by say like a means of behavior or all those things. Other than telling you. So, because in the end, actions speaks louder than words.
True.
Talk is cheap.
True. So for me, her question, I feel like currently, nowadays, I think the dating scene is getting harder and harder. Why do I say so? Yes, God actually really wired us differently. Like he said. The thing is, women nowadays fear. You know? They fear, they feel, a good man is hard to get. It is impossible. Even men feel the same way. Yeah. You know? But this is definitely Satan's plan. You know? According to how society is now living. You know? There is always a fear. There is always a fear. For me, I really take it as Satan's plan. Because if we start to see how women are living nowadays, yes, be independent, all right, but it's because they're putting on a protective shell, like, I now see men don't want to take care of kids. No, let me work hard. You know, there is that whole thing. But guess what? God's first initial thing was Adam goes out, looks for something to eat, brings back 4. Eve, you know. So all these things, because now I'm contributing 50-50, you're contributing.
Remember when Eve decided to look for what to eat? What happened?
No.
Like a mother one looked for the fruit, or it was you?
No, when Eve went to look for the fruit, you see what happened. You see, and now that is what Satan wants now. He wants women to go out and look for the fruit. But guess what? The plan was stay at home, nurture the next coming human beings. You know, teach them what is supposed to happen and all that. So when you say men are nowadays, we are now wired. We are wired in a way I can't even begin to explain, because everyone is.
Oh, you mean we are rewired?
Yes. The society.
I thought we were just denying our wires, but we already wired.
We are wired, but we are protecting ourselves
because it's there in society.
Yes.
Society.
Men are now scared. If I'm to get to take her, if I'm to go to her home to pay for things, at least let her first give me a child. Because these women of Kampala, you know, everyone is protecting themselves. We are, you know. So if you say we are wired differently, we are now even more complicated. We now have different wires going east, west, south, north.
We connected sub wires.
We connected sub wires because of the society we are in now. You know, but then once we somehow because of God's grace, once we get to know each other, sometimes mostly the women, they normally get back to where they are supposed to be. you know.
And the men.
And the men also
That's
get
so
to, they also get to get in
They
the
take
picture.
charge.
You know?
Yeah.
They also get their picture later. But according to how the scene has been when it comes to dating, people scared. The way I see people take actions that show fear, you know. In conclusion, however much Satan is taking us this way, when we get there, for example, marriage and all that, most times people get back to where they are supposed to. You know, try and get back to where you're supposed to be, that the man is going to lead, you know, and that way he's wired that way. He's meant to lead. Let him lead. Tomlo always, you know, these things of 50-50. No, he's the man.
So I think I sided with her almost entirely. You know, God is a brilliant architect. He designed this world with a lot of compatibility, with extreme compatibility. Yeah, the same way the fish are in the sea and the whales are in the sea, and the waves come and the waves help the sailor to move from one point to another. You see that distribution. You see, waves are natural things. So when you bring it to the distribution in human beings, there is that compatibility that they put in the union formed by the male and the female partner. You get the point. So, and there are natural roles that are defined. Take lead, provide, you nurture and multiply.
Yeah.
Wow, you get. So, and we are still on that script.
We're still
To me, I feel like we are still on the script. Yes, there are society changes,
Distractions
that are coming in a way, wherever they are coming from. Anyway, there is that staggering in some pockets of society. Yes, not everywhere. Yeah, but we are still on the original script. Yes, so to me, we are compatible. Everyone has their own unique roles, and we are meant to be uniquely moving with each other across the journey of life. Yes, that's my take on it.
Oh, that's amazing. I agree with all of you actually on that, and I also want to just add a point. I realized as well that really God doesn't make mistakes, you know. On the other hand, I've even ever told it to some of my friends that, you know what, I think if a man did like homosexuality, I feel like men understand each other better because now they are men. You know, I was studying this thing of us being different for a long time, and I was saying, but how about if women stay together? They know each other's needs. You know, they know that, oh, you need this. Oh, she'll do that because she knows what you need. But again, that's not all that she needs, you know. So that means that it is true that you can be compatible, but to a shallow extent. You will not go far if you are same species. Yeah. So, but if we are different species as God wanted it to be, even God himself, they tell us that he is complete because he is both. He is both male and female, and that is what makes him complete. If he was male, he would probably be favoring males more.
Yeah.
If he was female, he would probably be favoring females. Or he would be emotional and would see him reacting. Would see him doing things irrationally, you know. But this is to show us that we are God's perfect plan, and God's perfect plan is the one of women, you know, with the men. And now what the point that we're trying to say is that why men seem complicated. I don't agree that the men are complicated. That's why the question was, why do men seem complicated? Now it's upon us to build our self-awareness and then get to tailor it to work for us in relation to the other person that you are relating with. Yeah. So this wasn't meant for us to clash. Men are trash, men are dogs, women are women, what fear women, Kampala women. It's true, the majority may be the majority may have common. it didn't even be better the majority. It can even be your kind of people that you attract.
Yeah.
People around you.
Yes, the ones that usually go through that. Oh, all men cheat. Oh, all men are whatever they say. All those things are meant to just put you off track. But the reality is, we are compatible. Yeah, we are compatible. We complement. Like she told us some time back that we are not meant to complete, because every one of us is a full human being. You're supposed to know who you are in your depth, and you're supposed to even be enough already. Now the other one is to complement, just add on, on who you are, and together you can go far. Yeah, just you alone, well, yes, you can go far, but I mean, that's how it was made. Who are we? Yeah, so in conclusion, the men are not complicated, right? It's us who have to.
Not at all.
Women too are complicated. We just have to view in all each other's lenses, and we have to step in each and everyone's shoes.
Yeah.
And then we analyze well.
And most times these things of, say, Kampala women or Kampala men, or
The
most
women
times
are
the
there.
things that make noise the most are the minority.
That's true, by the way. Now,
For
that's
the
why
most part,
I have ever
few will
argued
make a
with
lot
my
of noise that you
friend.
think it's now.
And I was saying, now, if the minority are the ones making noise, why are the majority quiet?
Exactly.
Why are they letting the impression, prevail?
Because
Someone
there's no
would come
benefit
up
in
shouting.
making noise. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone will say marriage is hard,
sense.
but do you know how many people are happily married?
A lot.
By the way, I feel like
Do you know how many people are happily married somewhere?
happily married.
And they're not even making noise
They no
anywhere.
longer want to speak.
Yeah,
People
because
think-
you may bewitch
Yeah.
them.
And people think that being happy means not having issues.
Oh yeah,
That's
being
what I
happy is being able to dissect those issues well.
So there are these things that when people put in their mind that it is this, there's no way you're going to see something else other than what you perceived in your mind that it is this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, generalizing is that still also of relationship joy, by the way. You go and listen to your friend's story, then you start thinking about your man the same way.